what's going on? I'm Cody and welcome to Nathan for Reaction. Today to be reacting to Game Theory Sauce Cheese Revenge Pizza Tower. This by the Game Theorist. Now this sounds really interesting, and I'm really excited to see this. But it's always linked to the video in the description tab. Lost because they're new channel. Smash that subscribe button, leave a like video. Let's even get this video like 500 likes, and let's go and check out Game Theory Sauce Cheese Revenge Pizza Tower.
Pizza Tower. At first glance, this game looks like it has relatively
Dude,
little story.
okay.
We're shown
Dude, let's
cutscenes
do
at the
this.
beginning of the game that practically tell us everything that we need to know.
Dude,
it's
right.
the story of one man running around trying to save a struggling restaurant from an evil floating pizza that's
Bruh.
threatening to blast
Dude,
his
that is
business
so
with
creepy.
a laser. It is a thin plot that merely serves as an excuse to kick off the action. But oh no, friends, this game is so much deeper than that. Hidden in the background, the developers have put a whole history here. A history
Dang,
of betrayals, of war, of cloning.
Yeah, like all
and if
the
you follow their
details.
clues, you'll see that our heroic chef may just have been the true villain from
bruh,
the very
what?
beginning. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory!
Dude,
Better
yes,
evidence,
Game
better
Theory.
theories, Game Theory. I hope you're hungry, loyal theorists, because today we're serving up a slice of piping hot lore courtesy of Pizza Tower. The intensely
Bruh,
viral
Pizza Tower is such an amazing game. Also, like a little bit terrifying as well, though.
indie smash hit that released back in January. I might be a little late to the party on this one, huh?
Bruh,
If I were
right.
the pizza delivery guy, this one would have to be free. Now, for those of you who weren't keeping up with it during its development, Pizza Tower is a frantic action platformer in the style of the Wario Land franchise. Actually,
So
one of a
good.
handful of Wario-likes that's been cropping up over the past few years, like Anton Blast and Treasure Tech Land.
Oh.
Basically, the game's developer, McPig, saw that Nintendo hadn't made a new Wario Land in over a decade and said, fine, I'll do it myself.
Bro, I didn't even know that.
Absolute garbage. Anyway, 5 years and a whole lot of Patreon support later, the game is here and the response has been overwhelmingly
It's amazing,
positive,
right.
with Pizza Tower becoming one of the highest rated Steam games of the year mere hours after its release. People immediately fell in love with its blistering fast gameplay, the Ren and
yes,
Stimpy art style,
the
absolute
graphics, just
absurdity of
everything.
these characters and their world. And of
Animations.
course, like any good indie game, there's a heaping helping of hidden lore in the secret
Dude,
sauce.
all the
that
lore.
is very easy to overlook when the vast majority of the gameplay has you running through levels
Right.
at absolute top speed. But let me tell you, not only
Super
is there lore in
fast.
here, when you stop and pay attention to it, it actually turns everything that players have assumed about this game on its head. Our main
Dang.
character, Peppino, is much more than just a hapless pizzeria owner trying to save a struggling restaurant. He's a man who brought all of this on himself. And our actions through the game are just perpetuating a continued cycle of abuse and violence. That's right, it is a classic game theory. The hero may just
game
have been
theory
the villain
theory.
all along. Are you all ready to get funky? Let's begin. For those of you who haven't played Pizza Tower yet,
Bruh, low-key Peppino's like dance moves, dude, like a
here's
10.
the basic plot. While lamenting his failed pizzeria, Peppino Spaghetti, yes, that is his real name, is visited by Pizza Face, a sentient floating pizza that's threatening to destroy
Dude, Pizza
Peppino's with a
Face
laser
is so
cannon. So to save his
creepy.
business, the
Dude,
naturally
let's do
anxious
this.
Peppino goes on a rampage, running down anyone who gets in
Right.
his way as he chases Pizza Face to
Peppino
the top
does
of
not
the
play
titular
around.
Pizza Tower. Peppino runs at mock speed, climbs walls like Spider-Man on caffeine, and beats the ever-loving snot out of any sentient foodstuff that just
He climbs the walls like Spider-Man on caffeine, dude. Oh my.
happens to
I
cross
guess
his
that's
path.
one
Rest
way
in
to
peace,
describe
there, Snotty. At the end
Peppino.
of each stage, Peppino knocks down Pillar John, a living stone slab that Pizza Face cloned repeatedly and then placed in each level to keep the portals of the tower open permanently. Knocking him down triggers a
Dang.
countdown sequence a la Wario Land 4, or a final Metroid-style escape, where Peppino
Oh,
must
right,
get
you have
back
to
to the
rush
beginning of the
back.
level as fast as
Exactly.
possible before Pizza Face catches
Bruh,
him. As you climb through the
that
tower, you go through
Metroid
dozens
style
of
is-
wacky places like a city of pigs, a farm beset by aliens, a literal war zone, and an abandoned pizzeria haunted by ghastly animatronics. Oh, come on! Get out! I can't! I can't. Is there no
FNAF.
rest? God. If Peppino manages to reach the top, he's finally able to confront
Gotta be the
Pizza Face,
animatronics.
who, it's revealed, isn't actually a floating pizza monster, but rather some kind of mech
Oh.
secretly piloted by none other than Pizza Head. A guy with a pizza for a head. This game's naming convention
That is so creepy, dude. Like Pizza Head dough.
are pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, it's
Right?
an odd reveal because this is a character who's never shown up previously in the game and was never explicitly alluded to. As such, at first glance, it seems to be a twist villain just for the sake of having a twist villain. And honestly, I'd
Right.
be totally okay with that. This is a joke
Right.
game where nothing is taken super seriously, so having our floating pizza head be replaced by an actual
Actual
pizza man
pizza,
is
it
the sort
makes
of
sense.
ridiculous twist that would make a lot of sense here. But we
Right.
are theorists. When we see a surprise final boss appear without any clear build-up, that's the
It's
sort of thing that
gotta be
sets off
something
all
to it.
kinds of alarms. If you stop and take a closer look at our true final boss here, everything about Pizza Head is pretty weird. For the big boss of the game, he never seems to take the final fight seriously. He starts the fight by handing Peppino a gun. He accidentally pulls out a dirty picture of himself. He shoots a machine gun at his own face instead of at Peppino. He is laughing the entire time. It's almost as if he's not trying to kill Peppino at all, just mess with him. If he wanted to kill Peppino, he could have just fired the laser.
Wait, so Pizza Face is actually Peppino? That would be an extra twist.
Peppino's pizza without warning instead of giving him a chance to stop it. Except the laser isn't anywhere to be found when Peppino gets to the top of the tower, nor can I find it in any other level. The only explanation is that there was never a laser in the first place, and that all of this was a trick to lure Peppino to the tower for some greater purpose.
Bro, I'm getting like
But
chills
why?
right now.
Well, to understand that, we actually have to play through the game again. See, once you know
I
to be on
didn't
the
even
lookout for
think
Pizza
about
Head, the
this.
signs are there from the very beginning of the game. Literally, the first enemy
Oh.
that you face in the tutorial is a cardboard cutout of Pizza Boy, a boy with the exact same face as Pizza Head.
As
Notice
Pizza-
the blushing
right.
cheeks, the big red nose, and of course, the large slice of pizza as a face. That is suspicious. It would seem that Pizza Head
I mean,
might
it
just be a
kind of
grown-up
is.
version of Pizza Boy. We see later in the FNAF
Wait, is
level
he, like,
that
going
Pizza Boy
through,
is
like-
the main mascot for Pizza Boy Piz
This is
Pizza. And that's not the only
interesting.
place that he shows up. World 4, the slum, has a Pizza Boy cutout crammed into a sewer pipe. This then leads to multiple cutouts that we
what?
can find littering the sewers throughout the level, as if all of this Pizza Boy merch was suddenly discarded all at once. Later in the game, when visiting the Pig City, you can see wanted
that, like, the
posters at the beginning of
mascot
the
or
level, as
something?
well as at the beginning of the Vigilantes boss fight. Peppino is a wanted man with a $1
Oh, so-
million bounty on
Oh
his head.
my
Has, like, John
goodness.
Wick levels of bounty hanging
Right?
over him. What did he do? Later in the Pig City level, Peppino gets arrested, and what do we find waiting for us in the cell? Lo and behold, another Pizza Boy cutout
Oh,
just
dang.
waiting there, acting almost like a calling card. Is he the one behind all of this? Could it be that he's the one putting up the wanted posters? And when Pig City eventually goes up in flames, graffiti of Pizza Boy's smiling face can be seen.
Bro, what does this all mean? This is so interesting and so in-depth, dude. Like, the game theorists are
Peeking
like...
out from between the buildings.
so
like he's
amazing.
reveling in all this destruction. Finally, at the very end of the game, just as Peppino and friends are about to reach the exit of the crumbling tower, a horde of Pizza Boy cutouts appear in a last-ditch effort to slow them down, both bookending the cutouts from the beginning of the tutorial, as well as signaling that Pizza Boy himself is the thing trying to keep Peppino from escaping. Pizza Boy
Bro, this is really
always
interesting.
there. He is always watching. He is always impeding Peppino's progress.
That'd be so creepy, like Pizza Boy Loki, just like, oh my goodness, I can't even do like creeping over
He even
there.
reacts to how well you're doing in the game. When you first boot up the game, a Pizza Boy face is used to
Bro,
measure
that'd
your
be so
current
creepy,
completion
just like a
percentage. He begins
pizza,
happy
like,
when you're at
person
0%,
following
and he
you.
starts getting sad when he
like,
sees that
why?
you've made some progress. Bit by bit, he gets angrier and angrier, quickly losing
Oh,
all
di-
resemblance
oh
to
my
Pizza Boy, and
goodness.
instead gaining the appearance of
Of
Pizza
Pizza-
Head instead.
Pizza Head,
If
yep.
Pizza Boy were a distinct entity, it wouldn't make sense for him to be worked up by Peppino's success. But if he's really Pizza Head, then of course he's getting mad, because you're getting closer and closer to foiling his plot. Which then begs the
Dang.
question,
Do
what's
not
the
have
plot?
it.
All these clues seem to suggest that Pizza Head was once the mascot and potential owner of Pizza Boy Piz Pizza, but we still don't know what beef he has with Peppino. If
Did
he's
he,
just
like,
going
put
after
him out
some
of
competing
business?
pizza chef, why target someone whose business is
Right.
already in the tank? Well, Pizza Head himself
like
doesn't have
Papa
any dialogue
John's
in
and,
the
like,
game to fill us in on his motives. There is
Domino's.
one NPC who does. Pizza Granny. She is just like Pizza Face. She's a pizza.
Bruh, is there like any relation to like the Pizza Face dude? Like, oh my, it's Pizza Granny.
She's got a face. She appears in the hub world before each level to tell you things like how to use your taunt to parry
they
projectiles,
related?
or how it's unfortunate that your
Wait,
name
so they're
is
helping
Peppino
out.
Spaghetti. Usually her dialogue is short and snappy. She's basically just there as a tutorial.
Right.
But in one encounter in the Western District, she suddenly spouts off on this huge rant. The syntax is all off, and it's hard to parse what exactly she's
Ooh.
trying to say, but one nugget of information stands out among all the rest. Quote, in the upper part of the tower, there's this Pizza Face character. Then there's a man from your previous life leading the way. Since Pizza Head's the only one up there, it's not much of a stretch to figure out that he's the man from Peppino's past. But again, I ask, what is their actual backstory
Right.
here? Why is Pizza Head out for revenge? Well, it all comes back
Bruh, dude,
around,
what did
as it so
Peppino
often
do?
does, to FNAF. Specifically, the FNAF level I keep mentioning, Don't Make a Sound. It's the second to last level
Bruh, do like Five Nights at Freddy's, do like in relation to like this
of the
dude.
game,
That's
which
so
also already
interesting.
places it in an important
Who
position.
knew,
But
like
what's
Five
really
Nights at
interesting
Freddy's
about this
and
one
Pizza
are all
Tower
the lore clues that are
would be like
sprinkled
the
throughout the
same.
various background environments.
Have
The
something
first thing
similar.
to notice is the poster that clearly indicates Pizza Piz Pizza is going bankrupt, which could explain why all the Pizza Boy cutouts were thrown
That
down into
makes
the sewers
sense.
throughout the slums map. So we know for a fact that Pizza Head's restaurant
So
hit on hard
Peppino,
times. We can
like,
also
put
see
them
in the
out of
storage room of the
business.
pizzeria that the dead body of a safety inspector
Oh
is hanging from the
my
ceiling, trapped by
goodness.
one of the many dangerous toys that are hidden away in boxes. That might
Bruh,
be one
that
good
is
reason the
so
restaurant hit on such hard
creepy.
financial
Dude,
times.
like, the
Nothing says
pizza
fallen
face is
profits quite like having a
terrifying.
series of
Dude,
murders
this is
happening
so
in your back rooms.
creepy.
Ain't that right, Willie?
Oh
But
my
it's the
goodness.
series of posters
This is
here that I
creepy.
really want to examine. The first one shows us that the game's third boss, the Noise, used to be a mascot of Piz Pizza. Now, for a bit of context here, the Noise is a parody of Domino's mascot, the Noid, a character who's notorious for being one of the worst restaurant
dang.
mascots in all of history. We actually recently did a food theory all about him and how he single-handedly
I'm gonna have to
caused
check
a
that out, 'cause I
hostage
have
situation
no
at
idea
restaurants.
about
So
that.
if you haven't seen that video or aren't familiar with the character, check that one out after you're done here. But based on the
I'm
photos
gonna have to
that we
check
see
that
around
out.
the level, the Noise was a key part of Piz
Let me know if
Pizza's
I should
marketing
react to that
strategy.
in
And
the
apparently
comments.
he wasn't the only one. Over here, on some of the other posters, you can see a stretchy cheese slime character. Now, cheese slimes are a common enemy throughout the game, so this could be a stretch. Get it? Stretch, because he's cheese.
Right, dude, like the cheese and like the pizza buns, dude, like, oh my goodness, that.
But I don't
that
think
is
that
so
right there is just
amazing.
any character. I suspect
But
that
it's
that
also
slime,
creepy.
just like the Noise, is also
Like
a boss in
stretchy
the tower. Specifically, the boss
cheese.
of floor 2, the Vigilante. For proof, look at the eyes. Notice the pupils of a normal cheese slime versus the pupils of the Vigilante. The Vigilante has pinprick pupils, as opposed to
Right,
the common
it's
enemies,
like
which have
one
more
bigger-
oblong pupils.
right.
Now look at the slime that's used in this poster. Pinprick eyes. Eyes that match the Vigilante. So we have ourselves the second floor boss being a former mascot of the brand, the third floor boss being a former mascot of the brand, and the final floor boss, Pizza Head, being Pizza Boy, the main face of the company. I don't know about you, but I'm noticing a pattern here. And that pattern only continues as we look at more details in the level. You see, as we run through the remains of Piz Pizza, there are other familiar faces that start popping up. For instance, Peppino's chef friend Gustavo appears here multiple times. First, as a Gustavo marionette guiding us forward, but also as a character in an arcade cabinet pizza crawler. Why would he be here of all places? Why would there be murder?
Wait, so basically we're going through like Peppino's past, dude. Like, is that what's happening, dude? I did not know there was this much lore to like Pizza Tower.
And spin-off titles dedicated to him,
Who
unless he
knew?
also worked at Piz Pizza at some point. But even more suspicious, Peppino himself used
It's
to
like
work at Piz
Peppino's
Pizza
past
as
and
a
like who he
mascot. Throughout
put
the
out of
level, we see
business.
various arcade cabinets starring
I guess
Peppino,
this is
Pizza
sort of like his
Tower Defense,
conscience
Pizza
or
Tower
something.
Golf. But if there was any doubt, there's one poster that's hidden just out of view that shows Peppino chasing after the pizza gremlins Noise and Noisette. In other words, Peppino used to be a mascot of Piz Pizza 2. Every single one of these
Wait,
characters
did he
used to be a
steal
part
the
of the Piz
recipe?
Pizza brand. They were all mascots or
And
marketing
then made his
characters or
own
involved
pizza
in the
place?
business in some way. They all have a shared history, with Pizza Head as the literal and figurative head of it all. But it seems like at
Dang.
some point, Peppino broke off from the others to make his own pizza business. I suspect that somehow, some way, that decision killed Piz Pizza. Hence why we see the company going bankrupt.
Right.
Why do I think this? Well, in one of the other posters,
stole
we
the
see
recipe
Pacino,
and made
the
his own
Italian
business.
chef, an animatronic-like character that looks exactly like Peppino. And not only does he look like Peppino, if you get jump scared by one of the monsters in this level,
Oh.
you'll respawn as Pacino. That right there shows you that you and Pacino are meant to be one and the same. I think
dang.
this was Piz Pizza trying to find a replacement for Peppino. When Peppino left to strike it out on his own, it left all the other characters high and dry. Suddenly, they were
dude.
left with one of their star characters gone. So in a desperate bid to replace
Wait, so Peppino was like a character. Like, that is so interesting. And then he made his own pizza-like company. This is getting more
They
interesting.
tried puppets and robotics and marionettes, but none of them worked. And that's when they started getting really desperate. They started cloning Peppino. You see,
Bruh,
once you reach the
what?
boss of the 4th floor, things in the game get real weird. If your theorist alarms weren't set
Ooh.
off by anything else in this game, floor 4 should be putting them into high alert. It's here that we
Oh,
fight
dang.
Peppino himself. Yep, we are fighting ourselves, or more accurately, a twisted clone version of ourselves. He's taller, his eyes
Right.
popping out, and oh yeah, there's also literally dozens of them all attacking at once. He'll even throw his head at us when things get desperate.
Ugh.
But why is there a clone of our character running around? Well, we actually see the lab where get made in the final level of the game, simply titled War. In this level, you literally fight your way across a war-torn landscape with fighter planes and bombs in the air. It is weird. So much so that it prompted
Bro, this just got like extra creepy, dude. Like, oh my goodness, when pizza gets terrifying.
the fans to come up with their very own game theories.
Right.
Mostly centering around the idea
'Cause
that
it's
Pepino
so
is
out
actually
there.
a war vet. Now, McPig, the game's creator, did come out and debunk that theory on Discord, but then they also made some tweets that would imply that the theories might be true, so it feels like that whole thing is up for debate. All that, though, is neither here nor there. What I want to focus on is the background of some of the screens in this level. In them, we see copies of Pepino floating around in stasis tubes. What's it mean? It means that he's being cloned. But why? Well, the clue is given to us back during that 4th floor boss fight. Look at the background and notice what it says in the window. Pepino's Pizza 2. And that's not all. At the end of the fight, there's an extended horror chase sequence. If you manage to survive, you emerge on the other side and are suddenly standing out front of an old defunct building named Bruno Pizza. They're rebranding failed abandoned pizzerias as Pepino's. It's Pizza Head trying to make his own Pepino franchise. They're creating Pepino clones to steal away his business. Not because it's particularly successful or anything like that, but as repayment for Pepino's betrayal when he first left the Piz Pizza family. So taking all—
Wait, so like Pepino like left, made his own company, and like now they're trying to make these other pizzas as Pepino's Pizza, but it's not actually Pepino. Dude, there's so much lore to this. Dude, what is
these
happening?
clues together, here's the final storyline that I've pieced together based on the clues hidden in the game. Piz Pizza was a highly successful company that would regularly roll out new mascots for marketing purposes to build up hype. The Noise, Noisette, Gustavo, Cheese Slimes, but at the top of the heap there was Pizza Boy, the literal face of the company. The Pizza Tower is his family home, as evidenced by the portraits that hang in the game's opening hallway. But of them all, there was one mascot who would rise to challenge the popularity of Pizza Boy, Pepino. A chef character who would get taunted and trolled by the Noise twins, a beleaguered everyman who made some pretty darn good pizza. When he was first introduced, his popularity took off, and Piz Pizza put him everywhere, including
I feel like he
multiple
took their
spin-off
recipe.
arcade games. But eventually, Pepino wanted to move on, to strike it out on his own. He was popular enough, he could become his own solo act. This, to Pizza Head, a former child actor, was the ultimate betrayal. They were family. You don't just leave family. Desperate to replace him, Pizza Head and the rest of the crew created Pacino, an animatronic version of Pepino. It didn't work. Piz Pizza started to struggle. Meanwhile, things were doing okay for Pepino. Not great, but he was making enough to get by. Piz Pizza was still pulling in a lot of customers. It was his biggest competition. And so Pepino decided to play a little dirty. You see, because of the time that he spent working at the company—
Oh, dude, so basically it's Pepino's past, like, coming back to haunt him or something like that? Is that what's about to happen?
Pepino had one final ace up his sleeve. He knew the dangerous secrets that lurked in the back of Piz Pizza, the failed and deadly products that Pizza Head had tried to sweep under the rug. So Pepino called for an emergency health and safety inspection of the restaurant, hoping to get his competition shut down once and for all. Then his pizza company would be the last one standing. It would finally be able to thrive. Was he betraying his former co-workers? Sure, but this was business after all. And the thing is, his plan worked.
Thumbs up.
In fact, it worked a little bit too well. The health inspector came, got caught up in one of the dangerous backroom toys, and died. His pizza wasn't just slapped on the wrist with a low health score, it was
bro, what, dude? I guess they did not pass the health inspection.
He hit with massive fines for safety violations. News spread of the death that had happened at Piz Pizza. This resulted in the business going bankrupt in a hurry, leaving all these characters like the Noise, the Vigilante, Noisette, all of them with no place to go except to linger on inside of Pizza Head's family tower, plotting some kind of revenge against the man who had abandoned them and then sabotaged them. The Piz Pizza crew came up with wilder and wilder stories until finally landing on cloning. They created dozens of alternate Pepinos. This was no longer about getting business back, this was about revenge. This was about taking his business down along with them. This was war, a mutually assured destruction. They would put the clones into shoddy copycat pizzerias in low-income areas of the neighborhood to hurt the Pepino brand.
Bro, this gets more interesting and more terrifying, dude. Oh my goodness.
And it worked.
Who knew
Pepino's
there
original
was this
restaurant
much
was
lore?
crushed by the debt. And
But
so
it
there they
all
all
makes
were, miserable,
sense.
destroyed together, which meant it was the perfect time for Pizza Head to give Pepino a visit, to lure Pepino back to the tower and reunite the Piz Pizza family once again. To force Pepino to confront all these moments, these places, these characters from his past. And that is where the actual story of Pizza Tower begins and where our story today ends. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go have a salad. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory.
It kind of makes
Thanks
pizza
for watching.
a little bit terrifying.
And hey, if you want to learn more about the dark history of the Domino's Noid, that video video is
gonna
on
have
the
to
left.
check
Make
that
sure you
out.
take a munch out of that button you see on screen right now. Or if all
Oh
this
my
pizza talk
goodness.
has you a little bit thirsty, take a swig of the video on the right, where we pick apart the disturbing lore of only cans. As always, my friends, I'll see you next week.
Oh my goodness, that was so interesting, dude. Like, low-key making pizza a little bit terrifying as well, dude. But oh my goodness, that was really interesting. The amount of lore I think was so fantastic. Oh my goodness, dude. So basically, it was Peppino's past catching up to him, which I think is really interesting, and I did not even like, there was so much lore in this, which I think was so fantastic, and I just absolutely just like so love this, and that was like so amazing, so incredible, and that was just like extra creepy. What do you guys about game theory, sauce, cheese, revenge, pizza tower? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also click that bell to turn notifications. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy the video, as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next reaction video.